go.
I love it. Okay. Yay.
Oh my goodness. So many red yellows. Oh, this is going to be a good time. Oh, all right. Y'all are some messed up people, you red yellows. I love y'all. Y'all are rock stars. Okay. But y'all, we going to hit you in the boom, boom. Okay. So if you want, I would love nothing more than to share my screen and just give you guys a brief 5-7 minute overview of the colors. I consider myself to be very proficient in this. People always ask me, how did you learn? What did you read? I literally taught myself this. So I believe that I am one of the strongest people that can speak on this. And this is because this has changed my world. Like, I firmly believe that Jesus led me to this. I don't say that as a hokey pokey Christian. I firmly believe it was a Holy Spirit moment. And this is something that after 72 hours of engulfing myself in August of 2017, it changed my life. And I was a double diamond. I felt like my whole organization was going to fall apart. And Jesus led me to the color personality. And I realized that I was bulldozing over my team, running them over, not speaking their language, not caring about them. And then I was like, shocker, I'm a red. Okay. And so this plays into my story real quick. As a double diamond, I had to pull myself back. I had to say, oh my gosh, I can't make it about me. And that is when people started knowing my name, because I pulled myself back. And in 2018, I went double, triple Prez. 2019, I went ambassador. I took my husband presidential, and then I went 2.0 in my diamond. And that is all a direct effect and a direct consequence, and I use that in the good phrase, of the decision that I made in August of 2017 with this color personality. So when I speak it, it comes from the heart. I teach this every day. My kids know what color they are. My husband knows what color he is. Like, this is ingrained in Ashleigh Mayfield. So that's where I come from. If I say some things that you don't agree with, that's fine. I am okay with you not agreeing with me. I do think that you are your top 2 colors. Okay. So you have 4 colors. You are your top 2 colors. That is who, like, God has made you. Yes. Life circumstances, those can evolve. So when you look at the order, like Tiffany, you are a red yellow. Every day you wake up, you're a red yellow. You know how to tap into that green from time to time. You only are going to pull the success from the green because it's not your color. You're not going to pull the bad stuff. Okay. And then Tiffany, you're not a blue. Bless your little heart. Okay. People like me probably drive you nuts. Okay. Because I'm all like, all right, with my blue. Kelly gets that. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen with you real quick. And hopefully you guys can see this. Can I have a thumbs up, Stacy? Can you see that? Okay, cool. So I always go in the order that I am. Shocker, red. Okay, it's all about me. And I'm going to go in the order that I am, but I just want to real quick make sure that I dissect what each color is and what their strengths are and what their opportunities are. So we're going to do this real quick. And then as I'm going over this, I definitely saw a lot of yellows. I saw a lot of reds. We need to make sure we hit on that red-yellow combo. It is definitely an amazing combo, but a tough combo. Okay, where are my red yellows at? Y'all feel that? Drop a 1 below if you feel that. And so we're going to talk about that. And then if there's any questions, you guys, this is the moment. You have me for an hour. Be transparent. Don't hold back. I don't care if your upline's on here and you're like, hey, I don't relate with my upline. Probably because you're polar opposite personalities. Okay, so we got to talk about this because the goal is to be better in 2020. Okay, feel me? So let's dive in. Reds are goal-oriented creatures. Okay, we are mission-minded. We take the bull by the horn. We are those natural dominant people. Reds, and if at any moment I say something you agree with, just drop the word boom. B-O-O-M, boom, okay? Because we need everybody to see that you agree and that we're all on the same page, okay? So reds, you are the go-getters. I always say if you're not a dominant red, you want a red in your organization because we could be dying in a car accident with our arm severed off and we are going to pop promotion. Like, Jesus, you gonna wait, bro? Because I got to get this promotion, okay? And then you can come and take me. Okay. Speaking of Jesus, you guys know my husband is ordained. I have worked on staff and ministry. Reds, we are not Jesus. Jesus left the 99 to go get the 1. Reds, we will sacrifice the 1 to save the 99. We are mission goal oriented minded. when you are a red, reds understand that casualties will happen in their business and they are okay with it. We are okay. Where are my booms at? We are okay with having casualties. Okay. Now, I'm not saying we like it. I'm not saying we agree with it. And I'm not saying it feels good. I'm just saying we understand that sometimes you have to make someone an example or you have to learn on someone. And it sucks. That can sound really harsh, but as a red, we get it. Reds, we love our team. We're very team oriented, and we understand that we need people who have strengths outside of ours to make us go further faster. Okay. Now, some of the downsides of reds is y'all stubborn. Oh, Jesus, y'all stubborn. Okay. And the reason reds are stubborn is because you like to play your cards close to your chest. Because if you share something you're struggling with, you view it as a sign of weakness. And it's a way for, it's the way for the opponent to get the advantage. Okay. And so you're very stubborn. And reds, you do tend to bulldoze over people. You have an expectation, and that's part of your struggle. And I'll get more into that with that red-yellow combo, is that you expect people to want it like you want it, run like you run, enroll like you enroll. And it's just unfortunately not going to happen. So reds, you're really good with people. You were born to do this business. Blues, where my blues at? Okay. Blues are the life of the party. Feeling oriented. We wear our heart on our sleeves. We are the loud, the obnoxious, the outgoing people. Okay, we love to make people feel good. Now, with that being said, blue-red combo works really well together. The blues and the reds love people, okay? And we'll talk about combos in a second, because a red-blue is different than a red-yellow, is different than a red-green. But the red, if you split this down the middle and you look at the red and blue, those are the people colors. They love people. They show up for people. They do teamwork. It's all about people. The red-blue combo is also very impulsive, okay? Reds, you are not shy of pulling the trigger. You have an intuition in you. Do I go left? Do I go right? Go left, because you see the bird's eye view. Blues, your impulsive nature is more hold my beer, I'm going to go jump off the roof, and I'll figure out consequences later. Okay, so it's a little reckless, blues, okay? Okay, boom or no boom, okay? You're a little reckless, you're a little spontaneous, but that's why we love you. Blues, you're super sympathetic, you're empathetic. It really is fun though, Kelly, I agree. I mean, I'm over here like my 20% blue. Oh, it's bad. And so, blues, you're super sympathetic, super empathetic. You're the criers. Blues are the emotional ones. You are the heart, you are the feeling. You cry when people cry. You love celebration. You are all about fairness. And sometimes that's hard, because as leaders, we have to make decisions that are not fair, and it doesn't always feel right. Blues, you don't like confrontation because you're afraid of hurting someone else, but also you're afraid of judgment. That's one of the biggest things that holds blues back, is you have a fear of the outside looking in. And you are so paralyzed by people laughing at you, being left out, public humiliation, and you struggle with that, okay? Blues, another thing that you need to work on is that I don't like calling blues lazy, but here's the deal, y'all. If I could live my life sleeping 20 hours a day, playing Mario Kart for 3 hours, eating pumpkin pie for 30 minutes, then maybe saying hi to my family for 30 minutes, that's my life, okay? We have a natural lazy disposition. And so that's where I'm grateful. I'm 60% red because it keeps me grounded. But blues, if you're a dominant blue, your disposition is you struggle saying no because of FOMO. You have to have your hands in all these pots. You're the jack of all trade and the master of none. You're not great at anything because you're trying to be good at everything. And you got to stop. Okay. But blues, the reason that you're so successful is you will talk to every gosh darn cockroach in the world. Oh my gosh. Okay. I would get OSS in school. I was a little reckless. I would get ISS. I got Saturday school. They had to turn my desk to go to the wall. And then I'm like, oh, you want me to talk to the wall? Okay. And they're like, Ashleigh, we're literally going to kick, you need to close your mouth. I just talk to everybody. Okay. And so blues, that's why you're good. And in this business, you have to get in front of people. Okay. So yellows, where are my yellows at? Now, reds and yellows are polar opposite colors. That's why they're across from each other. Ding, ding. And so they have a lot of similarities. You guys are the workers. Reds and yellows, very action driven. But the difference is reds are internal Yellows are external, okay? Both of you, stubborn as crap. I explained reds are stubborn because they play their cards close to their chest. They view it as a weakness. Yellows, you're used to being the help, so you won't ask for help. And it's screwing you over, okay? I got it. Baby, you don't got diddly squat. You ain't got it, okay? Like, you ain't got it, all right? And so yellow, oh, I'm coming. Kelly puckered up because I didn't know Mayfield was going to come in hot, okay? I'm coming in hot, y'all, okay? Buckle up, boo-boo. And so this, can y'all tell I really want to teach this at conference, okay? Like, people need to know these things. And so yellows, here's the deal. Yellows view themselves as so weak, and I am so freaking tired of it. I think yellow, and I'm not a yellow. It's my third color, which means I can tap into it, only the benefits. Yellows, you have a superpower that no other color has. You are the chameleon. No one else is the chameleon. Now, you sure as crap don't know how to put yourself first, but you can walk in a room and you can adapt to anything. So yellows, in this, I need to make this very clear. Yellows don't necessarily care about the person. Yellows are not emotional. You have to understand that. There are teachers that don't like their students, but they feel called to raise up a generation. There are nurses that do not like their patients, but they feel called to provide and serve. Yellows are driven by an overall organization. They're not driven to the person. They're not moved by the person, okay? A yellow. Listen, you want to know what pisses me off about yellows? Is y'all act all innocent. You're like, oh, I love you. Yellows are like the biggest gossipers, okay? Yellows will say everything they need to say. They just won't say it to your face. Tell me I'm wrong, okay? You be like, well, I want to tell her that she needs to get her work ethic together and she needs to pull her head out of her butt. And I'm always like, then go tell her. And they're like, I could never. I could never do that. Okay. And so y'all know it's true. Okay. But yellows, you have this phenomenal superpower. As a teacher, you can walk in the room and put your blue hat on and make your students laugh. You know how to step into your classroom with a red hat and be authoritative. You also know how to put your green hat on and be administrative and do the whatever y'all greens do, the grading and the systems and all of that. The problem is when you take yourself out of the environment and you go home at night and you lay your head down on your pillow, you have no idea who you are and what you want. You have no idea because you live this life for everybody else and you are pouring from an empty cup. And I dare to say, you can just hop off now if I offend you. You think you're serving people. You think you're putting people and doing what's best for other people. I'm so amazing. I'm serving everybody. And you think you operate from a place of selflessness. And I challenge you to question if it's actually selfishness, because you think you're everybody's teacher and you think you're everybody's servant and you think you're everybody's nurse. And you do it out of a place of feeling good, right? It makes you feel good, right? How many of you dominant yellows are really good at customer service in your team? Oh, you're there for every question you help them answer and they need to Zoom and you make yourself available. It's because you feel affirmed and fulfilled when you're doing things for other people or for an overall cause. Now, yellows, some of your superpowers, not only that you're the chameleon. So the thing is, the reason yellows are beasts in this industry is because you know how to wear multiple different hats. Reds, I'm not changing for crap. Okay. I'm like, reds are the people that are like, this is how God made me. And you're like, you're so rude. No, you're a jerk. Okay. And like, Jesus told me to tell you that. Just kidding. Hashtag yellows wouldn't say that. Okay. Yellows need a t-shirt that says that. Jesus told me to tell you you're a jerk, but I'm a hashtag yellow. I'm just kidding. So I'm just having good at this point. Sorry. I'm having fun now. So I'm going to hurry up and wrap this home and then we're going to ask this question. So yellows, you are so honest. You're not like a blue. And if you're a yellow blue, this is where you find the struggle. Okay. Yellows, you're not like a blue. Blues are loud. They're obnoxious. They're big. Yellows, you're meek. You're quiet. You're honest. Yellows, you are dependable. Blues are not dependable. I couldn't even show up on time. We ain't dependable. We tell you we're going, as a blue, we tell you we're going to be at 6 o'clock with drinks for the party. We're going to show up at 7:05 and we're going to bring plastic spoons. And we don't know why we brought spoons, but we forgot what we were supposed to bring. Okay. But yellows, you're honest, you're dependable. You're going to show up on time, do what you're told, and you're going to leave on time. Y'all need to stop expecting your yellows to rise above. They're going to do exactly what you tell them to do. And God bless them. Why go above and beyond? You didn't tell them to. Red, stop expecting your yellows to rise up when you haven't asked them to. Okay. And so yellows, you really have this amazing, amazing superpower that like, you just need to get over yourself and embrace. Okay. Cause you're beasts. Greens, last but not least, I'm like negative 37% green. I have some of my highest paid income earners have that green. And I'm also married to a red green. So it's tough. How many of you are like blues and your spouse is green and you're like, oh my God, you're so mean. And he's like, why didn't you tell the person they sucked? Okay. Why didn't you just say it? And so my heart, you know, there are people, a person's a person no matter how small. And so greens, you're super meticulous, super detail oriented. You'll notice that greens and blues are polar opposites. So if you're on here and you happen to be a dominant green, which I'm going to kind of say under Stacy and Kelly, you probably feel like a lost little lamb. No offense. You feel like a lost little lamb underneath me too. Okay. But I probably drive you crazy. You ain't watching my Facebook lives if you're a dominant green. You like, this girl is on crack cocaine. Okay. And so greens, people drain you. You are the antithesis of a blue, okay? People drain you. People are annoying to you. You're extremely logical. You're very meticulous, detail-oriented, systematic. You thrive on systems. You thrive on clarity. You thrive on the data. So when I'm calling Jason and I'm like, you know, telling him this dramatic story, you're never going to believe it. I round the corner and the sun was shining on me and I saw the squirrel and he's just like, can you just cut to the chase? Like, are you dying? Does the car hurt? And I'm like, no, you heartless jerk. I ran over a squirrel, you know, like, but he's just like, cut to the chase, brass tacks, bottom line, are you dead? Okay, now tell me the dramatic story, okay? But greens, you thrive so well with data, with information, with systems. And so if you guys have greens, you have to find those systems that are gonna help them because greens show up and do the work. Oh, they're gonna do the work. They're gonna cross every T, dot every I, but you have to make it so transparent. They're also driven by money, right? Greens, some of the biggest struggle is they wanna take all that information and knowledge without the action. So I describe it as a boat. Yes, you have one oar that is information, but you have an oar that's action. And this is really that red-green combo. You guys are super, you guys struggle with this because you're either taking all the action with no information. And what do you do when you only row one oar? That's an oar, right? I think that's what it's called. You go in a circle. What happens if you only take information? I have to know it all. I have to know the ingredients in fat fighters because, you know, 509,037 people are going to ask me all the ingredients and what was the temperature of the soil whenever it was harvested, and they're not, but that's what you tell yourself. And so if you have to learn how to do it together. You got to get a little bit of information, a little bit of action, a little bit of information, a little bit, and then eventually you're going to start rowing at the same time, and that's when you're going to see progress. Some of the biggest struggles that I find with greens is that they have to see it to believe it. They're not blues. They're not creative. They're not visionary. What they see is what they know. So I had a double diamond, very unfortunate. She climbed dominant green. She, in how I split down the middle and said that red blues are impulsive, green yellows are processors. So you have impulsive and you have processors, okay? And so that means that yellows, you process, but in a healthy way. You verbally process, you got to talk yourself through things to come to a logical conclusion, okay? But a green is like, it's worst case scenario. It's, oh my gosh, if I get on this airplane when we're crossing over Louisiana, I'm going to die and leave my children without a mother, and they're going to be traumatized when they're 16, and then they're going to marry an alcoholic, and it's all my fault. I can't get on the plane, okay? You process to almost talk yourself out of it. It's almost like a defense mechanism to hold yourself back from taking action. And so I had a girl who went really fast last year to double diamond as a green. Her diamond quit, her business fell. She kind of fell to like an emerald ruby, and she ended up walking away. And it was the first person that I've had double diamond or above that's walked away. And it happened so fast, and then we say that in church, quick to quick to convert, quick to backslide. But like it happened so fast that like I felt good. I've done everything in my power to try to get her back. But greens, like all she could see was her business fell apart, and all she could see was she was paid as a ruby or emerald and she was done. Like it's so tough to help. And that's why if you have a green, you really have to cast vision, big vision for them, belief. They need affirmation. And because all they can see is what's in front of them. They can't see how, hang on, it's a down season, or hang on, it was a bad month, or hang on, someone quit. You didn't do anything wrong. Someone quit underneath you and it caused your business to go down. But they need that belief. But greens are going to be very loyal. They're going to show up, and you just have to help them see that they don't get paid to show up. You don't get paid to Zoom. You don't get paid to attend meetings. You don't get paid to attend conference. I'm sorry, you need to get your butt to conference, but those are byproducts to helping us get paid, but they're not income producing activities. They help us make income, but we don't get paid to do that. And I find that my greens often find themselves in positions where they buy the most product, they buy the most apparel, and they spend the most time in meetings because they think that like checking the list off and looking the part and thinking the part is getting them paid, and they struggle with that action piece. But they bring a lot of value. They bring a lot of insight. They are present. They listen. They're very logical. They usually get things the first time. And sometimes as a dominant green in leadership, they struggle with, I get it, so why don't you get it? And so if you're a red-green combo on here, you're really hard on people. If you notice, I told you reds are all about execution and all about themselves. Greens are all about perfection. You're the perfectionist. You hold a high bar for yourself. You struggle with judgment. Remember, blues struggle with external judgment. Greens struggle with internal judgment. So if you're a red-green combo on here, it is all about you, boo. You got the perfect plan. You got the perfect execution, and you can't relate at all to people because the yellow-blue combos are the people. Okay. And so if you are on here, are there any red greens? I'm sorry, I don't remember. But if you're a red green, you basically have them. Your green goes to a point. You're like, well, I read the rules. Why didn't you read the rules? I got it when it was said. Why don't you get it? And you don't feel the need to repeat yourself. And remember, leaders are repeaters. But then the red is like, so your green is like, I get it. Why don't you get it? And your red is like, well, I'm running. Why aren't you running? And you're kind of just aggressive. Okay. So that's kind of it about the color personality. Sorry, I hope I didn't like beat you guys over the head with that. I love it though. I get so excited teaching it.
So, and is it common for most people to be conflicting colors?
Usually that means they're a yellow. I believe that. Yellows are normally like, oh, I'm a rainbow. No, you're a yellow. Because remember, yellows are the chameleons. And so whenever people are like, oh, I'm a little bit of everything, I'm usually like, I gotta coach you like a yellow. Because that's what that means. Like you're adaptable, and maybe you were like, typically what I find is yellows are like 27.6% blue, 27.4% yellow, 27% red, 23% green. I'm like, you're a yellow because you're just like, you're adaptable. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that, So that's what I would say.
Okay. Got it. Because I'm like, there's a bunch of us that are like, yeah, but I'm always conflicting. I do some of like, we're relating to a lot of more than one. So that's why I was wondering. Okay, I'm just going back to our questions. And if you guys have questions while we're on here, if you want to type them too. So what we are wanting, so we're like just scratching the surface, like learning this, taking the test, having our teammates, everybody's gone into their message groups and had their teammates take it. So now we're going, okay, I'm understanding better about myself. Now, how do I translate into leading somebody else, being like, for example, like in the red, yellow. Okay, so here, everybody on here, I'm looking on here, everybody on here loves Jesus. So everybody on here is kind. There's not any, unkindness happening in our leadership. So we understand we're kind, but what I think sometimes is I might get irritated on the inside because I'm like, if I can tell you what I'm really thinking.
Oh yeah. Well, I think you're talking about the red yellows.
Yeah. So what happens is they are our red yellows. We have mass enrollers on here. Hard. Oh, yeah. Super consistent. They're like having babies and enrolling, like, and they're like you said, arm cut off and still and going. And they're like, okay, but then what happens is then they don't know how to tell their people hey, why, you know what I'm saying? Without hurting somebody, how do I lead them? I know I got the answer. I know I can tell you what you're missing. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's that leadership position. They understand themselves so much that then they don't want to hurt somebody with, do you understand what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So if you are a red yellow and you feel like there is a hurricane going on the inside of you, drop a 2 in the chat. Okay. Like you feel so conflicted. And you have to remember reds and yellows are polar opposite personalities. There's a lot of similarities going there. Reds, yellows are both producers. So here's the deal. As a red yellow, and I don't have this, I'm a red blue. Okay. So remember, I have that natural lazy lean. I have a lazy disposition, a lackadaisical disposition. Not a red yellow. Red yellow is like you hit massive execution on both levels. You're not only internally driven, you're externally driven. You are the combo that is the combo that is the most no bull crap. Shoot straight, like, and that doesn't mean you're not kind, right? But you work. Okay. You have such a high work ethic. No other personality combo can touch you. Not a red blue, not a red green, not a green red, not a green blue, not a green yellow. Okay. Like no other color combo is going to compare to a red yellow. The problem is you're probably attracting opposite colors. As dominant reds, we attract yellows the most. Okay. And I'm not knocking yellows when I say this, but yellows by themselves lack confidence, lack direction. You're not decisive. You lack urgency. Oh, it'll happen eventually. No, it won't. Like we have to take action. Okay. But reds, we're kind of like freaking Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Okay. And so because as reds, we exude this confidence, we're very determined, we're very bold, we're very aggressive. We attract a lot of yellows. And so I've had to learn how to speak to my yellows. Well, if you're a red yellow, you feel all of that on the inside. You want to be aggressive, but you don't want to hurt people. You feel like you got it all together, but then you feel like you have nothing together, right? And I think you have to understand, you have to stop putting an expectation on people that they're going to match your work ethic. They are not. And here's the deal. You're never going to sustain your organization if you are a high producer. I firmly believe that. I preach against high enrollments. And this is just me. Take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm not on your guys' team. But I fill out 2 steps to success a month. And that's my goal. Like I'm done. Okay. And I want to leverage my leadership because I know a little bit, everybody doing a little bit can take us further than me mass enrolling, because eventually that runs out. Eventually you're one sickness away from your whole organization falling apart. And then you're pissed. And it's like, no, bro, you're pissed at yourself. The problem with the red yellow combo is, and I'm going to say this, it has nothing to do with you not being kind or you not being polite, because yellows are very kind and polite, but you are almost heartless. You don't feel people. You have such a no bull crap excuse that, you lack that blue. And so it's like, I'm doing it. Why not? Why aren't you doing it? And sometimes that not only reflects in your leadership, but it reflects in your posting as well. It reflects in your attraction. Okay. And so you're like, as a red, I used to post up. I could cringe by 3 years ago when I was didn't know I was red. I'd post things like, block me or mock me, but I'm doing this, hashtag join me or watch me. I'm going to the top. It's such a jerk thing to say. You're actually beating people over the head. It's like what we call Bible thumpers. You're thumping people over the head with Jesus, where they're like, screw you. I don't need, this is the God you serve that I have to do that, and that's not a representation of Jesus. And so that can't be a representation of our leadership. And so the thing that I find that really frustrates people that are that red yellow combo is, number one, you have to just understand that not everyone's going to be like you. And that's so hard because that's kind of all you know. I think part of it is survival. You've probably had some tough things happen to you back in the day where, my red stems from a place of survival. It stems from a place of protection. I have to fight for myself because no one's fighting for me, because growing up, I was all I had, whatever that sob story is. And what I can tell you is what I find that best helps red and yellows is to constantly put themselves in a position where there's always adversity happening. I've noticed that I have some reds that will I'm super driven out of pain. you're either driven by purpose or pain. I'm driven by pain. I remember what it's like to drown in debt. I remember what it's like to be broke. I remember what it's like to work 50 to 60 hours a week, only paid 40. And I don't want to go back there. So I'm driven by that pain. Now I'm working this year. I really want God to help me get to a point where I'm driven by purpose. I'm driven by the positive. That's why my word is love. Like I'm trying to fill my life with love, but I'm kind of squirreling all over the place. Sorry, #blue. So what I would say is that for a red yellow, some of the hardest things about people that are high achievers and high producers, and that's what you are, whether you're a red yellow, some of you like the limelight, some of you, it doesn't matter, like yellows, it doesn't really matter, reds love it. And just because you're one color does not mean you're everything in that color. Okay. So I'm 60% red, but I'm not driven by money. I grew up in a trailer. Like I've never been exposed to money. And my aunt is an assistant superintendent. She probably makes right around 6 figures, but she lives so modest. Like her car it broke down on the side of the road on Christmas Eve. And she's like, well, I was really hoping it'd last me a few more years. I don't want to buy a new car. And I'm like, oh my God, like you can spend your money. It's okay. But like, I've just never been exposed to money. So I'm not driven by money. Okay. I'm driven by debt, but I'm not driven by what could be. So what I say is sometimes with the red yellow combo is you have to slow down. And that's almost like a cuss word to us as high achievers, right? It's like, I have to slow down? What? And you have to slow down to be more present because you think that everyone gets it and they don't. And you have to meet people where they're at. So if you're a red yellow and you have someone who's a yellow blue and they don't show up, you're probably like insulted. You're like, what do you mean you didn't show up to the meeting? Like, that's what we do, but you have to remember that they don't see it like you see it. They might not want it like you want it. And that's where your strength of action can be to pour vision into them. But you're going to have to learn to like put a little emotion behind stuff. Like I noticed a lot of red yellows don't use emojis. I noticed a lot of red yellows like aren't like, hey, how are you? They're like, did you do your list today? Like that's how you start a conversation. And I am just from the camp. If one of my people met, I've trained my leaders, you teach people how you want to be treated. Okay. And so I trained my leaders, like they do not message me unless they say good morning, or they'll message me and they'll be like, oh, and good morning. Because if you message me and you just start having a conversation, I'm going to be like, hey, Kelly, how are you? Good morning. Rude. Okay. Like that's just my blue. I'm like, hello. Do I pick up the phone and you're like, need, want, serve me. No, you're like, hey, Ashleigh, how are you? Okay. And so as red yellows, you kind of have to slow down a little bit and you have to like remember that they're humans and it's hard. Okay. And I had to teach myself how to be a yellow. And it was one of the hardest things I had to do, but I assure you that's why I'm at where I'm at today, because I understood that I lacked something that I didn't have. So I hope I answered your question there, Kelly. I'm sorry. You can literally just cut me off at any point. You're not going to hurt my feelings. No. I will talk forever. I'm a red. I love to hear the sound of my own voice.
You did wonderful. What an excellent teacher you are. Okay. So I know, and there is, okay, blue, yellow, blue, Stacy is saying, and how to grow in leadership. For me, I work hard, but I work in circles and I'll work hard at the really wrong things.
Yes. And so we kind of talked about yellows so the yellow blue combo, if you look at, and I'll share it one more time with you. If you look at the picture, the yellow blue is all about other people. And so you lack the red green. It's not your natural disposition. So what I try to encourage people to do, so basically you lack a plan and you lack initiative and action, the red. Okay. And so yellows are kind of sitting back. And so what I can tell you is if you have a yellow green, the best thing that I can tell you is I ask questions to my yellows. This is kind of the way, because I don't want to like tell people what to do, but that's what a yellow needs. Okay. And so I'll be like, hey, Stacy, I'm so excited for this month. Do you have a game plan or can we come up with one together? Which is really code for, I can tell you your game plan because I already know it because I'm a red and I need you to get to where you need to go so I can get to where I need to go. And so I found that in order for me to like lead people, I have to just ask questions. But notice that both questions are yes or yes. They're I'm going to take Stacy where I want her to go. Hey, and yellows, don't insult yellows. Yellows work. Don't treat a yellow stupid. They don't handle that very well. Okay. because they're intelligent. They're very competent. Those are your blues you got to worry about. You got to worry about the blues kind of losing their brains a little bit because, our stuff just gets stuck back in emotion land and we don't know how to put it all the way to the front. Okay. And so yellows, don't treat them like they're stupid, but you have to understand that they do. And I don't know I need to find a better way to say this because I don't want it to sound rude, but they do have that employee mindset. Okay, my boss told me to show up at 8 o'clock. They told me to do steps 1 through 5 and then to clock out at 5. And I think there's a level of ego that we are expecting our yellows to go above and beyond when we didn't do that. Yellows are rule followers. They're going to do exactly what they're told. And if you don't raise the bar on them, they don't know to raise the bar on themselves because they don't know how to put themselves in the driver's seat. They don't know when they laid their head down at night, they don't know who they are and what they want. That's why the counselor's divorced. That's why the maid has a messy home because they don't know how to take care of themselves, right? That's why the nurse is the worst patient, right? Because when they take themselves out of the environment, they don't know who they are and what they want. So for yellows, they need to be told what to do. Blues have their hands in everything. For blues, I just try to make things fun. I'm like, oh my God, Kelly, I saw that post. That was amazing. 15 exclamation points.
Do you know what I tell all my leaders? When your team posts something good, tell them, send it to them in the message group with emojis.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you, what about blue, yellow, leading red is what I think Stacy was asking, right, Stace? Blue, yellow, and leading, leading.
Okay, so if you are so let me go ahead and say this. If you're a yellow blue, no, I love that question. If you're a yellow blue, your third color, if it's a green, I would challenge you to work on it to make it red. I always encourage, because you're going to swing one way. That third color is going to swing one way. Swing red. The reason being is because number one, the green blue combo is I encourage anyone who's a green blue or blue green, you need to see a counselor because you struggle with internal judgment and external judgment. And that is no way to live your life. And you need freedom from that. Okay. There's a bond. You're bound. I don't know how to talk English, #not green, but you understand you have a trap there and you need to be free. So I hope that doesn't hurt anybody, but that's my best advice. But what I would say is you need to swing red because that red yellow combo, it's an action combo. It's an aggressive combo. It's a determination combo. So if you're a yellow, green or yellow, blue, and you have a red leader, I think that's phenomenal. What I think some things that you need to understand about reds is we're extremely aggressive and we want to take action and we don't want to slow down. So I think number one, giving us permission is huge. Give us permission to run. Don't tell us what to do. Oh my God, we will literally do the opposite out of stubbornness. So what I would say is you need to make sure, especially with the red, and I have the same approach with the yellow. I mean, any human, this isn't a color thing, but really that sandwich effect. If someone comes to me and they're like, oh my God, Ashleigh, that Facebook Live you did, girl, you ripped people up one side and down the other. You were so on top of it. It was amazing. I love that. What I found was that you were a little aggressive though. Did you see that? Do you notice that you come off a little sharp? Your superpower is that you're direct. I wish I was direct, but I noticed that when you're direct, you're a little pointed. Do you see that? And I think being able to approach, and that's going to be hard because yellows are oh my God, don't speak unless spoken to. And now I have to address this issue. And then blues are confrontation, squirrel, let's go eat ice cream. And so but you just have to do it. So I think number one, giving a red, here's what I'll say, stay out of a red's way. Oh my, as if they're enrolling and producing, stay out of their way. We are driven by title, status, power, recognition. If a red sneezes right, you have to honor the right behavior. We're fast learners. Reds are very agile. So if I notice that I'm not being praised, but Stacy is praising Kelly because Kelly did a Facebook Live, ding, 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 I need to do a Facebook Live. If you honor the right behavior, reds are, we love a challenge. We love raising the bar. We love honest, direct communication. And I think that's hard. The dichotomy is you don't want to tell us what to do because we're going to be screw you, you're not my boss. But we value direct. So for instance, and that's going to be hard for a yellow blue because you're going to be, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to make them mad at me. Dude, a red is going to love you. But here's how you can have that transition, if you say, I need to speak to you extremely direct, will you give me permission? I'll be, yep, go ahead. Because if you sideswipe me with it, you're going to piss me off. But if I know it's coming, okay, I'm ready. And you would be shocked, you guys. Reds, where are my dominant reds at? We want direct authenticity. I want you, if you need to cuss me out, cuss me out. If you need to tell me that I screwed up, tell me I screwed up. Now, I'm a blue. I might have tears coming down my face, but how dare you see something that I can fix and you not tell me? How dare you? Because you're afraid of hurting my feelings. Like, I'm sorry, but screw you. You're hurting me. We want to be the best. We are dominant. We are strong. We are hungry. How dare you hold me back because you think you have processed as a yellow that you're going to hurt me. And you just do it. I don't think you change. I think the way that you change that is just by taking the action. You have to say, Ashleigh, I want to say something to you, but I am afraid of hurting your feelings. And I need permission to speak into you because I think I can make you better. You just, what you got to say? Better? I heard better. I heard more money. I heard recognition. Ashleigh, I want to start shouting you out more, but I need to have shouting out more. Oh, you need to have an honest conversation. Okay, what is it? I also think that there's, like, I know that I can speak very direct to a red green. To a red green, I can send a voice memo and I can be like, bro, you need to get your head out of your rear. I am so freaking sick of seeing you post this way. Dude, you are acting like a douche. Like, please stop. If I ever said that to a yellow blue, oh my God, I would have to give them the suicide hotline. And I'm not making fun of suicide, okay, but I'm being serious. Like, they would, like, okay, so you have to understand who your people are. A yellow blue, if I had to say that, I would literally have to tell them on Zoom. I'd have to be like, Kelly, how are you doing? Oh my God, Kelly, I love the way that you are so fun and you are so passionate. And I love that. But is it okay if I speak will you give me permission to say some things? Because I know how much you care about people and I want to help your business because I really think you can care about people while making money. And is it okay? Will you give me permission to speak into some things that I see from a bird's eye view? If I ever spoke to a red green like that, that would be insulting. They'd be like, do you think I'm a freaking 5-year-old? Like, just tell me, like, you're wasting my time right now. Cut the fluff, trim the fat, throw out the poop, keep the corn, let's go. Okay? Like, and so I think you just ask permission. You just do it. Okay? What was the question? Sorry.
No, that was good. Let me go. Oh shoot, I got so involved in what you're saying and having a good time. I'm like losing all the questions. Okay, let me go back to the question. Stacy, I'm trying to unclick you. I'm unclicking you. Yeah. Okay. What
I
about
love your glasses, Stacy?
Thank you. They're my blue light glasses. I was not sleeping very well at night. They helped.
Oh, do you know you can take the Blu-ray out or like the blue light out of your phone and your computer? I don't know about that, but like Jason did it for me at a certain time, like my screen turns orange. So it really sucks editing photos at night because I don't have I was like, oh, I got to wait till the morning to put a filter on this.
So I need green people in my life to come do things like that.
I'm going to Google that.
For my husband.
I'm Google that. That's cool. Okay. So Stace, is there any questions that we're not covering yet that you had?
You know what? I do think we have, if I'm messing up, but I do think we have a good crew too of the red, blue, blue, red. And so and that's you. So like anything you could share, that you felt like you improved yourself on a ton.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, I love my personality. Oh, y'all like my babies. I just enrolled someone that was my combo and I was like, Jesus loves me. I love being a red blue. It is so fun. I love that we're impulsive. I love that we are not afraid. Like, we're not trigger shy. It doesn't make sense to me when people have to process stuff. I'm just like, don't get me wrong. My blue is like, okay, Mayfield, like you could have thought about that. And so I've had to grow in that. Like, you do have to process, but man, we're guided by such an intuition, and don't ever doubt that. Like, I love that even when I get things wrong, at least I called the shot. At least I made a decision, because that yellow-green combo really struggles with making decisions. So what I can say, if you're a red blue, again, I have someone who's a red blue that swings green, that I'm like, girlfriend, we got to help you swing yellow instead of green. Okay. And it's not that I think less of greens, but greens are so in their mind, and knowing that she goes blue, which we fear that judgment. I don't need her putting this perfectionistic bar on herself on top of the external judgment. So a lot of what I've had to learn was to be that yellow. Now, being a yellow, I think sometimes reds think it's only showing up and saying, how's your day? Hope you're doing well. That's not being a yellow. But a yellow, let me put it like this, putting on the yellow hat. So for me, being a red blue, that's my natural disposition. I'm like 60% red or 70% red, 20% blue. And then I'm like, 10% yellow, because I've learned that. I've grown that. Okay. I was like 0% yellow, and I'm like negative 37% green. Okay. I don't get you greens. I love you. But I'm like, put the stick out of your butt. It's okay to cross like the road and not the crosswalk. Let's live a little. Okay. And so I'm sorry. I know you probably don't like people like me, and it's okay. Like, I understand. But, when I was walking through all of this in August of 2017, and I had to learn that I genuinely putting on the yellow hat doesn't mean that you're not direct and you're not honest and, you're not aggressive. It just means that you're genuinely putting your team's needs above your own. Like, you're really you're showing up for Stacy, not so how Stacy can serve you, but how you can serve Stacy. Because understanding that when I serve Stacy, I really am serving myself. And it's kind of that Zig Ziglar, when you help enough people get what they want, you're going to naturally get what you want. So you stop making it all about Ashleigh's next promotion, and I'm making it about helping the bottom. And what I know is leadership falls, and I have a Facebook Live on this. Leadership goes from the top down, but momentum is built from the bottom up. Momentum is not built because you're trying to get a diamond, re-rank diamond. Momentum is built because you go down to that executive and you work one-on-one to help them pop. And that pops the ruby, pops the emerald, pops the diamond. Momentum is built in the mully grubs. Momentum is built in the valley people and the low-hanging fruit, okay? And so you have to go to those people. So I had to teach myself how to be a yellow. So here's a couple tips and tricks that I give people that really help them. Number one, I got coaching and mentorship for someone that was like as yellow as the sun. And so I was like, teach me how you think. Teach me what it means to really be a yellow. And I didn't understand a yellow 2.5 years ago. So I had to learn all that. Everybody say hi, Jason. He just walked in.
I just want to see what was going on.
He's here for the party, even though he's not a blue. He's just nosy. He's got to know the facts. It's his green. What's going on in there? What's going on? I need to know. And so, so this is how you can learn to put that yellow hat on. And again, I really need to emphasize, because I had a red that put her yellow hat on so much, she kind of went to Yellowville, and I'm like, come back to Redland, come back. Okay. That's how God made you to be. And so here's some intentional things you can do daily just to show up as a yellow. I would say, find like 5 tasks that you can do and rinse and repeat them over and over. So for instance, I would intentionally send 3 people voice memos in my downline. Not like anything, just being like, hey, Stacy, totally thinking of you. I hope you've had a fantastic day. I looked over your social media. Dude, you're just doing such a great job. And I just want you to know what an asset you are to our team. And if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. By the way, how's the fam? You guys, it's so simple, but it's a way where it's like yellows are all about community. And so it's a way where you're showing that community. And you guys, I'm talking 3 people a day. You can do that. It's literally like a minute voice memo. And even if you only send a 30-second voice memo, but make it personalized. They know that they're valued. They know that they're seen. And 3 people a day, that's 21 people in a week that you would touch. That's 84 people in your downline. You might not even have that many people, but you're genuinely thinking about someone else. Another thing that I would do, so that's maybe just on day 1. Maybe you don't send the voice memos every day, but like twice a week, that's your yellow task for the day. Maybe another task you could do is write on 5 people's Facebook walls. Hey, Stacy, I just want you to know you are such an asset to our tribe, and I am so grateful for you, girl. Can't wait to see you soon. Like, that would be so huge. They're like, who does that? You took time. And I notice my yellows are always like, you took time out of your day to message me. You have no idea how much that means to me. Right. And so because they're quality time people, not all the time, but some of them are. And so that's another way that you can show up for them. Writing a handwritten note, and for me, I now, like, I'm going to have a quota weekly of how many meetings I need to have, because it's easy for me to want to run and as a red and as a blue, if I don't write it down, it won't happen because I'm just la, 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 la. And so for me, I want to have a quota of how many people I want to touch and I want to meet. And so if I want to have 3 or 4 15-minute meetings a day, or like 5 days a week, you guys, that's an hour a day of I'm touching 4 people. Like, do you know how far that can go? And I think sometimes as red, we think, well, that's not enough. Like, that's not good enough. It's not strong enough. It's not hard enough. And we've got to stop thinking about ourselves and we've got to think of them. So being able to give them my time, that means so much to people. It means more than you know. Writing those handwritten cards, letting people know, like, if you imagine a yellow's heart and how it's going to burst with joy when they go to their mailbox and they see that you took the time to write them a handwritten card, like you just won them over for life. And I think a lot of times we have to remember, as that red-blue combo, that people will die for recognition. They will die for attention. And the 2 ways that we're fulfilled in our human nature on a spiritual level is growth and contribution. And yellows might not be the fastest. Look, I'm a red and I didn't promote the fastest and I don't enroll the most, but yellows already kind of don't put themselves first. It's our job as reds to show them the value they offer and to help pull it out of them. I have to help teach you how to put yourself first, and you offer a lot of strengths that yellows don't. So I think that's a lot. Like, that's not only going to be a win for your downline, where you have to find a way that people can win in your organization outside of the enrollments. And reds, let me go ahead and tell you, that's hard. That's hard. Okay. And we were making a lot of our stuff that we were doing about fulfilling the steps to success. And I had to realize this month that I had to stop emphasizing the steps to success, because that's the goal. I had to start emphasizing the action. Get in front of these many people, do this, do that. And I had to start giving people the tasks to do. And now they're going crazy with it. Okay. Because they're going to do what you tell them to do. But yellows are like, fill out the steps to success. I don't know how. I don't know what that means, because you didn't tell them what to do. You didn't give them the game plan. So I think as a red, it's a little thing that you can do to pull back, to let people know that they're important. And you'd be shocked that it opens up. You don't come off so heartless, and it kind of opens up the conversation for coaching and stuff like that.
I love that. If somebody's trying to grow their red, like you were talking to all us yellow blues and you said, instead of leaning towards green, lean towards red, what would be 3 to 5 things to do to grow that red then?
Yep. So I would probably filter everything that I'm doing with the understanding of, like, confidence, self-belief, self-worth. So that means everything I'm listening to has to do with confidence. The belief and the confidence only comes after the work. So that means you have to do the work. And I think that yellows are really good about telling other people what to do and taking care of other people. Like, you want to customer service your team, but the best way that you do that is by your feet and not your thumbs and not your mouth. Right? And so you can tell people all day long and you can text all day long, but people want to follow. So you have to put yourself in a position where you're developing and growing your mindset to taking action. And whatever that looks like, I always encourage, like Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Like, everything that you do has to be around that. I keep a little journal. It's a little pocket journal. It's not even as big as my hand that Jason got me. And one of my things I do every single day, like, I have the opposite effect. So I'm learning how to love and I'm learning how to put other people first. I really want to exercise that yellow more. I'm not trying to diminish my red in any way. I love who I am, but so I'm making sure that I'm coming from a place of gratitude and not hard on myself. So I'm actually writing down at the end of the day, I have to check it off on my list, on my to-do list. I have to write down 3 things I'm grateful for that day. So tonight, one of the things that I write is, I'm so grateful that Kelly asked me for an opportunity to be able to speak into her leaders. Like, that means so much to me, Kelly. So thank you. Because I don't let anyone just speak into my leaders. It matters. I want people who have character, integrity, loyalty. Like, it matters who you put and you expose your team to, right? And so, like, you guys are going to go in my gratitude notebook today. You might have the opposite. You show, as a yellow, you show too much gratitude. You're too grateful. Okay. I'm just kidding. You can't be too grateful, but you might need to write down 3 things that made you boss up. I was a boss today because I wasn't afraid to go talk to that person. I was a boss today because I did a Facebook Live. I was a boss today because I told my leader what they needed to hear. I was a boss today because I was direct when I stood up for myself. Does that make sense? Like, and so you know, we all want to talk about affirmations. I'm so amazing. I'm so amazing. I'm sorry. Like, I think affirmations are bullcrap. What I've learned is incantations. Incantations provides proof. So you're not just aimlessly looking in the mirror saying, I'm so worthy. I'm so worthy. I'm so worthy. Because when you walk away from the mirror, you don't feel worthy. You immediately tell yourself why you're not worthy. So you have to rewrite the story in your head. And an incantation is saying, I am direct because I stood up for myself at the grocery store when someone made fun of me. I am a boss babe because, and you start telling yourself why. And that's going to build your belief, because you're going to be able to look back and be like, holy crap, I have at least 3 days or 3 points that show why I am direct and I am confident and I am bold that I've done every day for the last week. Don't you think that that's going to help build your confidence a little bit? I am a business owner because I did everything on my to-do list today. I showed up for myself. I am worthy. Don't you think that that is going to make you more worthy than you just looking in the mirror saying, I'm so worthy, I'm so worthy, I'm so worthy? Because that doesn't change anything, right? Our thoughts, our words, and our actions all have to come into an alignment. So if you're trying to be more red, I would make sure I filter all of my personal development through red. Stop listening to Joel Osteen. Start listening to freaking TD Jakes. Start listening to Stephen Furtick. Start listening to someone that's going to light fire under your rear. And stay away from the fluffy stuff. You know what I mean? And like me, I'm pretty hard and aggressive, so I have to lean. I actually enjoy, I think he's cheesy as crap, but I'm actually enjoying listening to Joel Osteen. And that's what Jason said, because I was like, man, I'm like really aggressive. He's like, why don't you listen to more Joel Osteen? Like he speaks on faith. And that's something I need. I believe that Jesus is faithful, but I don't have confidence for his faithfulness in me. I can't cast that vision. I'm not that visionary. So but Joel Osteen provides that. And so I need to start listening to that, right? And so that's something that I'm working on, is filling up my life with some more love. That's my word for the year. And he speaks on that. He comes from a place of love. And if you want more of something that you lack, you have to go to those sources. You have to go to that fire, because that fire will burn you eventually the more you hang around it. You got to be in that fire. Don't think about it. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
I love that. Kel, I don't know what else you're thinking, but I think it would be awesome to even hear okay, red, yellow, this would be a great resource to go for. Yellow, blue, I don't know if you have one,
I probably don't off the top of my head. Okay. I think that, I guess I haven't really thought about that. I know for the yellow, blue, that's a lot of what I have. I would just say that for the red, yellow, I work with them very close, because what happens is they're such high producers. They're going to mass enroll, and eventually they're going to tap out and burn out, and they're not going to, they lack duplication. I think they need more leadership stuff. They know how to lead themselves, but they don't know how to relate to other people, because they have this, there's no emotion there. I don't know any other way to say it. There's just really no emotion there. They're just kind of like a wall. And I'm like, do you show me something, show me. And greens are that way too. There's just kind of that wall. I'm like, dude, crack, can you smile? Can you hee hee or ha ha something? I need you to give me something. Okay. And, so I would definitely say more leadership stuff. Maybe everyone communicates, few connect. I love that, but really operating from the heart, not operating from a work ethic perspective, but leading from your heart. And that's going to be really hard if you have someone underneath you that is that blue, because you're not speaking to them. You're giving one, in a one-word answer is pretty sufficient for a red, yellow. Don't bug them, they're working, right? And so I work closely with those people, and I teach them why they need to slow down a little bit. And hey, you do have to show up for your people every morning. You do have to say good morning. And they're and because they're viewing it from their own perspective, they're well, that's insulting. They should be working. Why do I have to tell them what to do? Why do I, they should get it. They don't. And you have to stop living in this facade everybody gets it. And so you have to slow down, and you almost have to connect with people. Everyone communicates, but few connect. I would say learn some communication skills, learn some leadership skills. Yeah, you're really good at leading yourself, but that doesn't matter in this industry if you can't duplicate it. And the way to duplication is through the gateway of leadership. I firmly believe that. We have 3 things that make this business who we are. Like, I believe I have struck gold when I just like started preaching this. We enroll and recruit. We lead, there's enrolling and recruiting, there's leadership, and there's duplication. And the problem is when you have people who are really proficient at enrolling and recruiting, they immediately want to skip to duplication. How many of you red yellows are like, I signed a distributor, why aren't they Ruby? Why aren't they showing up to the Zoom? They should have known what time the Zoom was. They should have already enrolled 3 people. I should have already had my fast start bonus, okay? And you're jumping to duplication and you're not spending time with them. And you might think that time is a waste of time, but it's really not. And so I'd say, like, you got to learn how to connect with your people. And that's, you got to turn your ticker on, you little Grinch.
No, that's so good.
I love it. Okay, so I know time is up. We're just past the hour, but I just want to say thank you so much, friend, for doing this for us. And, you know, we do have, I just wish everybody could know this group of leaders, because they love people, they love the Lord, and they work so hard. And so we're just trying to really hone in on, and I think it makes beautiful sense. And it's like, duh, why didn't I think of this? But like, to self-develop the color, like spend time on developing whatever the color is that you are lacking. Like you're saying, listening to Joel Osteen because he's yellow. I'm like, oh, that made perfect sense to me. Why? I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but thank you for saying.
You're
Even
welcome.
technical things, you know, sending cards, sending voice memos. Ashleigh, that's like, I know.
But if you're a dominant yellow, you already do that stuff. So don't, like, that's not income producing for you. You know what I mean? And so it's important to recognize, like, what is, like, no, you probably over baby your team. Like, you care so much about them that you need to go do your business. You need to go enroll. You know what I mean?
100%. But that simple stuff is what we're all needing to know. So thank you for being willing to stop and spend, I know time is valuable. So we appreciate you giving us your highest commodity this morning, and your heart. And we just know that you love people. You're always willing to help. So you're doing an awesome thing by sharing your knowledge. So
thank you. I want to just start speaking on this stuff more. Like I said, for 2.5 years, I've been implementing this and teaching this, and it's changing my life. And it's just a real tool and a resource. And I think it's valuable, and I think more people need to know. So I'm honored that you asked me. Thank you for trusting me, and thank you guys for loving me, even though I know I'm a little aggressive and I say things that might make you pucker up from time to time, but just know it does come from a place of love. Like, I really do love, because I drank my love this morning. So.
All right. Well, we love you. Lord, bless our friend, bless our leaders, bless their businesses, their homes, their minds, their hearts. Would you be in Ashleigh's home? Thank you, Lord, for giving her these gifts that she is so willing to share. And thank you for the gift of friendship. And just thank you for these leaders, Lord, that you have brought these friendships, Lord, that you've brought us together. Father, I'm so blessed and honored and thankful that you have connected us together. And we are just so excited and thankful for the opportunity to change so many lives. So would you bless Ashleigh and Jason? Would you bless their businesses, their homes, their kids, and bless the leaders that are here with us today? Be in their homes, keep them healthy, safe, and just pray you would turn everything they touch into gold. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Love you, friend.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.